LeBron James watch is hilarious. I can't lie. He's 41 years old and he still got the pool, while I'm sitting here just like everybody else on Twitter trying to dissect all of the tea leaves to figure out where LeBron is signing next. This video is brought to you by Factor. Factor delivers chef's crafted, dietitian approved, ready to eat meals straight to your doorstep so you can eat well all summer long without spending so much time in the kitchen. Not only personally, my schedule through the summer gets so crazy that sometimes, believe it or not, I completely forget meals. Factor is no planning, no prep, no cleanup. The meals are made with real ingredients, balanced macros, at least 2 veggies per meal, and built to help you hit your nutritional goals. I mentioned earlier that the time that it takes to make a Factor meal is one of the main reasons why I'm locked in. Let me show you how easy it really is. So today we're gonna try this 3-cheese lasagna. All I gotta do is poke a few holes up top. This one says microwave for 4 minutes. And then it'll be done. Now that right there looks amazing. All of that was 4 minutes time, y'all. All of that was 4 minutes time, and you saw how good that looked. Come on now. Head over to factor75.com, and you know that if you're rocking with me, I'm getting you a code. That code is KennyFB50. Now, what does that code do? It gets you 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for a year. That is factor75.com and use code KennyFB50. Now, the offer is only valid for new Factor customers with the code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Simple as that. Shout out to Factor again for sponsoring this video. And I feel like it makes me feel like a kid again in a way, because when LeBron made the first decision to go to Miami, I remember turning on SportsCenter leading up to it, trying to just figure out if anybody had any inside scoop. At that time, my Chicago Bulls were rumored to be one of the teams, so I was really into it. We gonna have Derrick Rose, LeBron James. Oh my God. Obviously, he went another direction, and that was my beginning of hating you, Bron. But guess what? Now, in my old age, your old age, we locked in, baby. We cool now. But I just remember being a kid in those moments and how cool it was. And I'm kind of feeling like that again. Like, he did go back to Cleveland in my mind, and maybe this is revisionist history. Cleveland was the only destination he was going back home. But now it could be Cleveland, it could be Philly, it could be Golden State, it could be this team, it could be that team. Anything can happen. And just like some of the reports that are coming out about all of these things are objectively hilarious. Like the one Dave McMenamin had a little while ago that said teams sending recruiting voice notes to LeBron James via Rich Paul. That is hilarious. Now, I ain't gonna act like I know all the ins and outs of being an agent or being an executive of a team, but I can't imagine that a lot of the recruitment process happens through iMessage voice memos and voice messages. Imagine being Mike Gansey, who just pulled off a trade to bring in Jaylen Brown. We got Maxey, we got VJ, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, and ooh, if only we had Bron. If only we had Bron. And instead of talking to Rich Paul personally, instead of talking to LeBron James personally and giving your pitch, you got to go through a voice message. You know how much more difficult that is? I feel like in real time, you take that meeting, whether it be on the phone or whether it be in person, you know that this is your meeting. There is no undos. There is no whatever. You give your pitch and that's it. A voice memo, I would think through it a million different times. Is that first line good enough? No, let me rewind it. Let me try that again. Is that second line good enough? Is that convincing enough? Let me redo that again. So like, I don't know if these voice messages are 1 minute long or 40 minutes long. This is LeBron James we're talking about. And LeBron, even in his old age of 41 and going to be 42 years old throughout the course of the season, still does have the pull and the talent to say, hey, if he goes to so-and-so team, he can swing the title odds completely. And there are some teams that are in the race that ain't won a championship in forever. Some of the teams in the race ain't won a championship since the last time Bron was on the team. So yeah, these memos better be crazy. And I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they're not. I'm just sad that we'll never get an opportunity to see those memos. So I kind of want to talk through some of the funniness that has come out of all of this, of people trying to find the tea leaves. First of all, does Steve Kerr have a stash right here? Is that new? Is that a new look for Steve Kerr? It kind of reminds me of a guy in Phoenix at first. Anyway.
Good. Hey, we need to get LeBron, man.
But we need LeBron.
LeBron.
Oh, we got him.
Okay, that's good. And go.
Put that on Twitter.
Okay, I got it.
He say, we got him. Put that on Twitter. Obviously, Steve Kerr's trolling. I think Draymond Green even came out and said he's just trolling because that's all he's been getting asked. But this video, at least on just this one tweet I'm looking at, has 2 million views and 40,000 likes. 40,000. Is LeBron going to the Warriors? I don't know. And I think what makes it extra special is that early on we found out that LeBron James is making this decision, but it's not money related at all. Bron, he'll bag chaser just like you should be. But the fact that you could bring in the guy who still plays at an All NBA level, potentially for a minimum, change the dynamic of everything associated with a team. All of the teams that are really in the LeBron sweepstakes have no money to really spend on LeBron type of player. But if you can get them for the low, oh my God, we're in the sweepstakes. So like even that. So LeBron James, boom, boom. His fit with the Warriors is pretty interesting to me. I think he also, I can't speak for Bron, but I wonder how much of what his decision looks like has to do with the legacy afterwards. You're like, Kenny's 41 years old. His legacy is set. And I completely agree. I would say LeBron James has nothing left to prove. His legacy can't get any worse. That's how I feel. But everybody don't feel that same way. Right. So the idea of potentially going to the Warriors, a team that beat you in the finals multiple times, a team that you beat in the finals, even though you are 41 and Steph Curry's in his late 30s, I think that some people take that as a knock off the resume. And I wonder how much of that stuff LeBron thinks about. I remember all them years back when he came back from down 3-1, he was asked about being the GOAT, and he said that is the moment he felt like the GOAT. So I wonder if he still feels like the GOAT in his mind. Does he care about what the talking heads will say about him joining the Warriors, or what the Twitter messages will look like if he joined the Warriors? I don't have the answer to that. But as a basketball fan, watching him on the Warriors will be fun. We got to see it in the 2024 Olympics, him and Steph Curry. That was cool. But I don't know if LeBron James added to that roster makes me feel like that team is a true title contender. Time will tell. But it will be tough for me to look at that Warriors and say, that's the one. Now, it's rumored that if LeBron James does decide to go to the Golden State Warriors, that the Warriors will put picks and whatever they have in their treasure trove on the table to make this last hurrah a real last hurrah. So that I'm looking at you, Jimmy Butler, and that big ass contract. If you attach some first round picks to that, you could probably get some interesting players. But we'll see. That's another one of the little caveat pieces of all of this. The Warriors are one of those teams that if he went to, I still think there's work to do. And I feel as though most of the teams as of today kind of feel solid about their roster. Like I would feel really weird about trying to pull off a superstar level trade at this moment in time, because I feel you just kind of accepted that free agency and the trade season is over. Right? I know we've got some crazy trades like the Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle trade that happened right before training camp. But right now I look at my Bulls team and I say, that team is going to be, that's our set roster. While some of these other places like Cleveland or like Philly or some of these Miami, I don't know if there's any super big changes to do with that current roster. We say LeBron's going to come into the team and boom, our chances of winning are exponentially higher. And I don't know. I know some people hate stuff like this, but I like when the players really play into it. Really play into it. Yesterday, Halliburton tweeted, "Tomorrow it's time at King James." This tweet has almost 100,000 likes. Shout out to CSB for the edit. Almost has 100,000 likes. Because people thought there was a possibility that meant that LeBron James was making his decision. And there's a small percentage of people thinking that the Indiana Pacers would be that team. Now, Indiana Pacers are not one of the teams that are truly in the running. And I'm not just saying that. LeBron said that himself. Tyrese Halliburton said he made a recruiting pitch to bring LeBron to Indiana. Bron responded with 2 laughing emojis. So GG's on the Indiana Pacers chances. But just because he said it's time tomorrow, almost 100,000 people said, yes, I'm locking in. And what Hallie was doing was, of course, playing into the joke of LeBron having to make this big decision, but also talking about they had a panel to do together at Fanatics Fest. At Fanatics Fest. That's what it was. They were going to do a little podcast taping of Mind the Game live in front of an audience. That was happening tomorrow, which is today. And you know what? I got to give credit to Hallie, because he did push the envelope just a little bit. He asked about the decision of free agency, being a journalist. He says, we already talked about that in the back. He said, okay, I'll leave it alone. I don't know if that means Hallie knows what's going to happen, or if Bron gave him them PR answers that Bron has been giving all offseason long. I'm not completely sure. Just right before I started, Shams was on Pat McAfee, and I'll just read this quote instead of letting you listen to Shams. He says, the Warriors, to my knowledge, are behind other teams such as Miami, a Cleveland, and a Philadelphia. And this kind of does make sense to me. LeBron just spent the last, 8 years out west. And though the Eastern Conference is way deeper now than it was when he left, it still feels, I don't use the word open. The Knicks literally won a championship 2 months ago. But it does feel like there's a little bit more, the parity stretches larger than out west, if that makes sense. So going back out east, maybe not the worst idea for Bron. A Miami, a Cleveland, a Philadelphia. All 3 teams that have intriguing fits for LeBron James. 2 of these teams he knows very well because he's played for them before. And then that last team, Philadelphia, right? Like, look at this. LeBron is enjoying golf today with Philadelphia native Kevin Hart. That's how deep these things are going, where we're all trying to figure stuff out. where they say he's golfing and he's golfing with somebody from Philly. What that mean though? There's another one here. It says LeBron appears to be golfing in New Jersey today. That's it. That's it. And it's like that's. Now I've been a free agent before, not a LeBron James level free agent. Don't get me wrong. But I do want to say it is fun as hell and it is cool as hell for people to want you to play for their team or want your services. It must be cool as hell when David Miniman talks about how all of the stars on the 76ers have made their own pitch to LeBron James with Tyrese Maxey leading the charge. You know what I mean? It's got to be super fun to just be wanted to this level. I mean, he's Braun. I mean, every team has wanted him since, I don't know, 2002, right before he got into the league. But it is so amazing that we got all of this. Shams is reporting that his top 3 teams at this point, all the 3 teams you mentioned earlier, a Cleveland, a Miami, and a Philadelphia. I really did like the idea of Minnesota, mostly for the fun factor. That's kind of the way I've been looking at it all. I want to see LeBron go on the most fun team as a viewer of the game, but I know Bron's got to think a lot deeper than that. But like the idea of LaMelo, Bron, Anthony Edwards, and Rudy Gobert would be, and Jaden McDaniels, I'm sorry, would be pretty fun on a league pass type of thing. But what team do I feel like he has the highest chance to help get over the hump and be a championship team? It probably is Philly. I think Bron goes to the Philly team, and he's like the facilitator that they're missing. And they got a lot of solid playmakers, don't get me wrong, but like LeBron is one of the greatest playmakers of all time. And we're basically having 4 other people on the court that are threats on the catch and threats off the dribble. It's insane. Now, I am curious about what the possessions look like with Bron and Embiid on the court, and they're not working together, and it's like Embiid on the high post. I'm sure they'll work it out. I mean, these are great players, but that is one of the things I'm thinking about. But as far as like LeBron getting plopped into a team and no other moves around it, but him just going to the team, making them a contender, I think Philadelphia has to be number 1 on that list. The Cavs are just in the conference finals, though they got swept by the Knicks. I don't know. It is still a lot of question in my mind of Mr. James Harden. As far as like what he looks like in the playoffs on a time-to-time basis, like what is Bron really doing when James Harden is cooking at the top of the key and vice versa, because neither of these guys have been phenomenal off the ball over the last couple seasons. Miami just is like a hodgepodge group of things, and you wonder about fit with Bam and Giannis, and the talent is going to be the talent. The talent's going to be the talent. I wonder how much of that is his decision-making too. Like, yeah, it might be kind of clunky, but we are all top whatever players in the league, so we'll make it work. I don't know. I just know I'm really excited to see what happens. And I just know, actually, I wonder how it's going to be done. Is it strictly going to be a Shams Charania post? That don't feel Bron related, do it? Like, I feel like Bron is going to go on Man the Game, go live on Instagram, go live on YouTube and say announcement in 10 minutes and see how many people come to the YouTube channel. And then boom, you got to subscribe. Yeah, we play this social media game around here now, Bron. You got to subscribe, and I'm going to announce it in 12 minutes. But if I don't get 1 million subscribers before I announce it, then I ain't announcing nothing. Actually, I'm going to retire. Watch how many people subscribe. Yeah, well, matter of fact, let me see. Man, the game has how many subscribers? I'm giving Bron free game, bro. I'm giving Bron free game. If you want the... Oh, it's so close to 1 million. They're at 900,000. Bron, bro, if you want to get that channel to 1 million, you make a tweet going live on Mind the Game with the decision once we hit 1 million. And I can almost guarantee you they hit 1 million within 10 minutes. 100,000 people for LeBron decision, easy. Some of them people gonna unsubscribe right after, but so it's free game, Bron. It's free game.